three mad blokes with an obsession for photography and generally prattling about decide to embark on an epic journey to the southern region of Spain. What could possibly go wrong? Coming up, Steve waves his arms around. We ignore all the local signs. And Malcolm walks out of shot. We arrive in the historic city of Cartagena. Nestled between the Mediterranean and Marmanol, or Minor Sea, its strategic position has established Cartagena as a massive naval hub for this region of southern Spain. The city is particularly popular amongst Spanish holidaymakers who flock to Cartagena every year to enjoy a mixture of its al fresco dining and its laid-back atmosphere. We stop briefly to allow Steve to practice his Tai Chi, and we then immerse ourselves in Cartagena's history. Well, sort of.
We're here in Cartagena at the old Roman theatre. It's got the half-circle shape that Greek theatres normally had, so I don't think there would have been any gladiatorial events here, but we are of course going to make all of the Life of Brian and gladiator jokes. And because those two are wimps, they're down there.
What, we're doing our piece of camera up there?
And they're complaining that they've got to come all the way up here to do the piece to camera.
You made us climb all the way up here for this.
To get that.
Actually, it doesn't look too bad.
Well, here we are at the amphitheatre, as you can see, of the unpronounceable city. This is Roman, and this is where they used to hold their games. The gladiators fought to the death. It used to be Christians and lions and slaves and captures and people who were trained up to be actual gladiators who actually fought in this arena for the enjoyment and gaming, i.e. gambling, of the Roman population. However, Philippus Maximus Gluximus Odysseus went exploring and he found a rare breed of animal, and he named them Hobbitium. So basically, this is the only amphitheatre in the whole of the Roman Empire where they had gladiatorial games involving hobbits. You going to add to that?
I don't know how factual that was, actually.
Unsurprisingly, not very. In fact, evidence suggests that this theatre was used for live shows and political rallies. There was seating for up to 6,000 spectators, and the theatre itself was built during the time of Emperor Augustus, around about the 1st century BC, at the height of Rome's power. We journey a few miles to the site of some old guns, and Mr. Geography gives yet another misleading commentary.
We're standing here at this gun emplacement, which is something like 4,400 years old, built to repel the Phoenicians. I mean, not bad technology for about 2,500 BC, is it really? Pretty good. I mean, they weren't running around with bows and arrows and stuff. I mean, one hit from one of these and your Trimarine's completely f***ed, isn't it? He's wandered off.
I wonder why. After firing Steve, I soon tracked down Malcolm, convinced him to come back, and asked him to provide a more accurate background on the history of the guns.
We're here at the Batteria de Costa de Cenizas, which we think is a Republican battery which was built to defend the port of Cartagena from the Franco regime. It was built a few years before the actual civil war, so this was here with the intention of protecting Cartagena from any aggression. There are Armstrong Vickers that were built in Sheffield. They cover a wide area of the ocean here, the Mediterranean, to get the stuff that's way out to sea, and then if anything does get past these into the port, there's the ones just at the entrance to the port.
We then move down to the Bay of Cartagena. And in the next piece to camera, Malcolm makes no less than 5 utterances of the word harbour.
We've come around the harbour to a place called Puerto de Navidad, which is a fort, which literally translates as the Christmas fort. And a bit further on is the Navidad Faro, which is the lighthouse. So they use this area to protect the actual Cartagena harbour from attack. Around here is a military installation up in the hills. There's still some Spanish naval vessels over there. Some sort of blast doors which may have held munitions at some stage. We think it's connected with the Civil War. The harbour itself is really quite big. It's big enough to take in cruise ships. I think I've seen 2 cruise ships in at one time here. You can actually get a tour of the harbour. There's another huge harbour which is more commercialised. It's for the petrochemical industry.
The next day, we ventured into the southwestern hills of Cartagena. There, we visited the site of an old army base from the time of Spain's Civil War.
We are located just southwest of Cartagena. As you can see, there's quite a few military style installations here. We've already seen one just down there, which we think is maybe an arsenal because it's actually embedded into the rock, and we can see lines where they would have carried shells out to waiting trolleys which would have brought them up here to gun emplacements. There's 3 different installations of guns facing out to sea to protect the approaches to Cartagena, so any boats, battleships or anything like that that was coming, they could pick off fairly easily. And this, we think, is a headquarters or operational centre for maybe the officers. It might be the officers' mess. There's evidence of kitchens and things like that there. We haven't been upstairs because it's probably a bit too dangerous to do that. And as you can see, there's another military installation up there. Now, I do know that whenever they have the air show with the military base down the way, they position all their radar equipment up here and they use it as a control centre. So this is kind of very much like air traffic control. So they control the aircraft that's in the airspace from up there across the rest of Marmanor and down the Manga. They all appear to be linked. We also think that if you go downstairs in this actual installation, it will go down to the blast doors that we saw the other day. So yes, it's quite impressive, quite impressive.
As the sun began to set, an eerie silence fell across the valley. We could almost hear the sounds of old battles fought long ago. But then, the peace was interrupted by my 2 travel companions who decided to unleash their inner 6-year-olds. Oh dear. Our time in southern Spain soon came to a close. We often got on one another's nerves, but we took in the sights, sounds, and smells of this unique region of Spain, whilst making complete pillocks of ourselves along the way. We made a solemn vow that we shall one day return, and when we do, be very afraid.